What's up guys, it's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with another Raid Shadow Legends video. And in today's video we're actually going to be talking about who, in my opinion, is the best rare champion you can get in the game. Now I know a lot of people will argue about this and debate it. This is my opinion, and I'm going to give my reasons on why I think this champion is the best rare champion that you can get in the game. A lot of people will say Apothecary, Cold Heart, Reliquary Tender. Everyone's got their favorites. All the guides and everything will always tell you, those are some of the best. But in my opinion, the best is actually a champion you can farm right from the campaign in the Deadlands. And of course, we're going to be talking about Warmaiden. Now, that's the main reason I think, number one, that she is the best is the ease of being able to get her. She's one of the better champions in the game overall, and you can easily farm her literally within the first couple of days you're playing on your account. So that's the number one reason I think she's such a good character and probably the best rare in the game. Let's go ahead and jump in here. We'll take a look at her kit. You guys should know this by now. We've discussed Warmaiden in several videos that I've made. The one video I said you need to farm her and Spirit Host. Within the first week you're playing the game, kind of went over a lot of this, but we'll just kind of brush over it real quick going into her kit. Her A1 attacks one enemy with a 30% chance of placing a weak poison debuff for one turn. Not great, but has a little bit of utility on some bosses and dungeons. You can even use her as a fill-in for the clan boss very early on in your account when you pull her to apply that poison. Opportunity Strike is her A2, which places a 50% increased attack buff on her and an extra hit if this attack is critical. The extra hit cannot be critical, which that's not real great, but it's still a decent A2 here for her. But what we're really here for is her A3, the Crumbling Blast ability, which you can book down to 3 turns. Attacks all enemies and has a 75% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. This is the big version of decreased defense. It's amazing that you get this on a rare champion, especially a rare champion that you can farm within the first couple of days you start playing the game. So because of that, you kind of want to build her for accuracy to make sure she's hitting that decreased defense. That ability alone right there, early on in your account, is going to help you progress through so much. It's going to help you out in the arena, as we'll see here in a minute. It's going to help you out a lot in dungeons, as we'll take a look at later. And just in general, it's a really great ability, and she's got a really solid kit overall that will help you early in the game. We'll take a look at her stats here. You can see I just have her in basically speed gear. All of this speed gear was farmed from the speed stage, stage 6 in the Brutal campaign, with the exception of this one legendary helmet, which I did get from the Dragon. I believe Dragon 20 dropped that for me, and I got a double speed roll, so we went ahead and put that on her. All the rest of this blue border gear here, rare gear, basically came from stage 6 off the boss in, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's when you fight Queen Ava, Palace of Arabia. That's what I'm looking for. So just a general look at the gear. You see we don't even have speed on the shield. Most of these other pieces we got some at least minimal speed rolls, and we have her in speed boots. I got a really nice banner on her from the spider with a double speed roll. That really helps out a lot. Plus it's an accuracy banner. You kind of do want to make sure she has a lot of accuracy. That's something we'll talk about when we get into some of the arena battles here in just a minute. Looking at her general statistics, we've got about 30,000 health, 2375 attack, defense 1320. Her speed is 229. She's the second fastest character in my arena team. I'll take a look at that in just a second so you guys can kind of see what's going on there. 83% crit rate, needs to be a little bit higher to 100%, but again, we kind of just have her in general speed gear. We're really only concerned about her hitting her decreased defense debuff, at least where I have her at the state of my account. Critical damage 104, again, could be much higher. If these 2 numbers were higher, she would be able to do a lot of work in dungeons. So it's kind of like always a thing with progression. You're trying to get better gear, build up better numbers. Her debuff accuracy is at 141. Again, that's kind of low when you're fighting in the arena, especially up in Gold 4. You want it to be a little bit higher. It's not something you'll really have to worry about a lot. It's not like we're trying to get into Platinum Arena with her, where you would need something a lot higher. But these are general stats for her. Like I said, I just threw her in 6 speed pieces that I had to make her fast because I wanted her to go before my attack up champion and before my nuker in the arena. So this is basically a build for her for the arena. I used to use her in dungeons a lot too until I got my Madame Ceres and then started using her mostly. But for a general dungeon build, you would kind of want to go higher HP, a little bit more defense, then try to get this up to 100% with more crit damage. So But like I said, I'm more of a mid-game player. This is to kind of give you an idea of, even at the mid-game, how you can build this champion to help you out in multiple areas of the game. As usual, I'll be scrolling some screenshots to show her being used in the level 20 dungeons that I use her for. And let's take a look at the rest of the team that you'll be seeing here in the arena that we're going to showcase here in just a minute. If I can find my arena lead. Okay, so I have Haikatoon, who's my arena lead, and again, she's just basically in 6 speed pieces here. Her main thing is just to go fast. We have her at 242 speed. You remember Warmaiden's at 229, so she will go second and drop that decreased defense. And let's see, who else are we using here? We actually are also using Battle Sage, just mainly for her Nature's Touch increased attack buff. She's going to go before my nuker so that she gets a little bit more attack built up. Battle Sage, also one of my faster champions at 197, so she's going to be going right after Warmaiden. And then finally, for a lot of this, you're going to be seeing Darkelaine, who is one of my favorite champions. She's an epic champion that you get as a login reward. I think a lot of people overlook her. I'll probably do a video on her later on, just to kind of showcase what she is able to do. And she's going to be our nuker for this video. She'll be dropping the big AoE attack, which is her Death's Majesty here, which is a really powerful attack, as you'll see. And again, we don't really even have her in great gear. I only have one cruel piece on her. I don't really have any savage gear yet because I haven't been able to farm the Fire Knight. And then we don't even have a crit damage amulet. So you can kind of see here, even though the gear's rolled up and she has some pretty solid statistics here, I did manage to hit over 100 crit rate and 185 crit damage on her with 3800 attack. This is some of my better gear that I had to get to that with the crit chance. And like I said, we still don't have a crit damage amulet on her. So she has a lot of room for improvement. Can hit even harder than she is right now. We'll take a look at Elaine. She also does make a little bit of a guest appearance in this arena session we do here. Her gear's okay, it's not amazing. Again, with her, we do have 92% crit rate and 130% crit damage. That could definitely be higher there, almost 4,000 attack. Mostly use her still as my campaign farmer for 12.3, 12.6, and 185 speed there. So to kind of give you an idea, whichever iteration of Elaine we use will be going last on this arena team, so you'll be able to see the benefit of Warmaiden's decreased defense, the debuff that she drops down. So let's jump out here too. I always like to do this as well. I like to show you guys my Great Hall, so you can kind of get an idea of where I am with my account progression and kind of see how that's affecting these champions that you see in action here. So Great Hall's nothing to write home about. It's improved quite a bit in the last couple of months. I've been working real hard to try to get some of these other stats up on it. Before, I was focused mainly just on accuracy. We did just get accuracy 8 out of 10 on magic because we were doing the Arbiter mission for that. So that was 800 medals down the drain. I would have liked to have spent on some of this other stuff. You can kind of see over here again, we're in gold 4 right now, kind of in the lower end, middle of gold 4. Usually toward the end of the week, I'll get toward the higher end, almost lower end of plat. We're rocking about an 87% win rate, which is okay. We don't win every fight, but we win the majority of them. Gold 4 is not difficult. I don't want to sit here and act like, again, that I'm any kind of expert on the arena. There's a lot of bot teams in Gold 4. There's a lot of mix and match teams. There's some all legendary teams that are really tough to beat. And there's also some people that just put one character on defense, which you will kind of see when we go here into the arena. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to go ahead and jump into the arena, show a couple of battles, show how Warmaiden is very effective in Gold 4. Like I said, you're not going to be going into Platinum with her. This is just a strategy basically to get you from Bronze through Silver up into Gold. Something that an early player, a mid-game player, can definitely use to progress their account if they didn't know of this strategy or they didn't know really about Warmaiden's value in the arena. You should be able to see that after we take a look at this. Alright guys, here we are. We're going to go ahead and jump into the arena and stick Warmaiden into our team. It's a pretty basic setup we have here. We basically are going to run a speed boost, turn meter boost into our defense down with the Crumbling Blast ability that Warmaiden has. We're then going to go to an attack up from Battle Sage, and then we're going to drop our nuke using Darkelaine here in this arena composition that I'm running. And you can see there it does quite a bit of damage. That's kind of what you want. You want to get that decreased defense down on the enemy team so that your nuker can do a lot more damage. Now I am showing Warmaiden here in this video. I do use Madame Saris actually mostly in this role once I get up into the higher levels of Gold 4. But this is just to kind of show you how this works and how this ability can help you progress through the arena. It's going to be very helpful, especially when you get Warmaiden early on in your account. you'll be able to beat a lot of arena teams you normally wouldn't be able to just from having that decreased defense on there. And you can see that Darkelaine is just able to do a ridiculous amount of damage with her AoE ability there, even though she's not in the best gear at this point. Here we actually do substitute Elaine in for Darkelaine, kind of the same concept. We're going to run the decreased defense, the increased attack, and then we're going to have Elaine drop her nuke on the team here, and she's going to blow them all up, and we're going to get an easy victory. So as these clips are kind of scrolling by, again, I'm not an expert arena player. I mostly frequent Gold 4, usually getting up toward the lower end of Platinum. But if, I'm not someone that's going to be an expert on anything in the arena. This is just kind of a composition a lot of people do run, which is the decreased defense into your nuker to allow them to do more damage. And I think it's just something that can help you with general account progression. This is going to be for someone, just coming up through the game, mid-game. This is not an end-game strategy whatsoever, so I want you to keep that in mind. I just wanted to show you that Warmaiden does have a lot of value in the arena going up through, even the top end of Gold 4. You could still get away with using her. Although, like I said, I have been using Madame Ceres a little bit more because she has a lot more utility in her kit while also bringing the decreased defense. But Warmaiden's an awesome champion in arena. Her decreased defense ability is incredible, the AoE, and you saw the gear on Warmaiden. If we actually had her set up a little bit better with her gear, she could be doing a lot more damage actually when she drops that AoE to do the decreased defense. But it's pretty simple. I mean, you throw it in there. You sometimes you don't even need the increased attack. I just have Battle Sage in there for that because it kind of does ensure we get the extra damage when we are dropping these big nukes from Darkelaine. So it's very helpful to have her in there. But early on in arena, if you're just running her, you can have just a decreased defense without the attack boost. If you're coming up through bronze and silver, that's something you really aren't going to need to worry about, just as long as you're landing that decreased defense on everyone. One note I will say here is that our Warmaiden's accuracy is not super high. It's in the 140s. So the teams we're going up against in Gold 4, their resistance is not great. You'll see here actually it only worked about halfway. We did not manage to kill Roshkard and Aves. Unfortunately, they did have a little bit of shields that blocked some of that damage. And then Roshkard the Tower was able to get up his block damage skill. So we still will wind up winning this battle. It's just going to take a little bit longer due to the fact my Darkelaine's gear is not super amazing. We weren't able to get enough damage to actually put them both down. Here you do kind of see Battle Sage's utility, able to bring Warmaiden back with that revive. She's really great champion. I just made a video on Battle Sage. Excellent champion for your account for all kinds of account progression in dungeons and all kinds of other areas. But kind of the same thing applies here. We just want to throw that defense down, and then even though Darkelaine only killed 2 people there, it actually still enabled us to win this match because we only had to finish off the rest of the team there. So kind of getting an idea here just of this, pretty common strategy of throwing in the decreased defense. And like I said, being able to get Warmaiden with that so early on in the game, usually within your first week, and you're able to get her fully booked up pretty quickly usually if you're farming her stage. It just gives her all kind of value for a rare champion. So we're going to have one more fight clip here, and then we're actually going to go in and take a look at Warmaiden in some of the dungeons that I use her in. Alright guys, so you're able to get a good look there at Warmaiden and just what she can do in the arena with her decreased defense skill. It's a very powerful skill that's going to allow you to do a lot more damage, and it's going to enable your nukers to be able to finish off teams before they get to go if you've got your speeds tuned right. Again, like I said, more of a mid-game idea, mid-game strategy. Something to work in gold, silver, bronze, and arena. If you're struggling in those areas, she's definitely a champion that you can build up to help you there, and that's one of the reasons I think she's so valuable, just because she's going to help you as a farmable champion within the first couple days of your account, be able to progress through that arena. And like I said, we got a lot of room to grow with her, building up this gear, getting even better gear on her. We really are missing a lot. Like the shield, for example, I think I was looking, and I actually do have a shield with 10 speed, so I can make her even a little bit faster. So it's always something when you're building your account, you want to always be looking for ways to progress your champions. But that said, let's go ahead and jump into some other content with her. Go ahead and go into dungeons. Now you've seen some of the screenshots scrolling by. I use her pretty much everywhere in dungeons. She can do all of the level 20 dungeons, even some she's negative affinity to. Surprisingly, I'll go down to my fire. I'm not going to run Fire Knight now, but I actually did get my fastest ever Fire Knight team running her in Fire Knight, which is really odd, because most people are like, why would you run Warmaiden in Fire Knight? Because she doesn't have a multi-hitter, except for her A2 that can sometimes hit twice. But her decreased defense is huge on the waves in the Fire Knight, and that's kind of what I use her for, is to apply that decreased defense debuff and then allow us to kill those waves a lot quicker, because the waves in Fire Knight are actually, to me, more difficult than the actual boss. So having that one champion that can apply that decreased defense on the AoE, and then, you know, just enable your other champions to do more damage, that's kind of why she's so valuable in some of these. Let's just jump into Minotaur real quick. We can kind of goof around here. And there's a screenshot I showed. I was using my common champion. Where's he at? We'll throw Yeoman in here just for a little bit of fun. And we'll go ahead and just do a Minotaur. I think I need one more Minotaur run to finish off an Arbiter quest, so we'll kind of do that here. But you can see there right off the bat on auto, she's always going to drop that decreased defense. And it's just going to make these guys a lot easier to kill. So that's why she has so much value in these dungeons. A lot of people will say, well, you know, you put Apothecary in your dungeon, it's going to do all this, you know, make all this difference for you. Well, really all it's going to do, it's going to boost your turn meter, let you take more turns. You can actually do that with High Katoon, who's a login champion that you will get for your first 30 days in. And that's another reason why, to me, Apothecary is just really not that... I don't want to say he's not that special. He's a great rare champion. But I think he gets sort of elevated on a pedestal. And it's one of the reasons, like I said, I think Warmaiden is better, because you're guaranteed to get her early on if you want. She's very easy to book. You can farm all her books from the same stage. There's an incredible amount of value in that, especially if you're a free-to-play player or if you're on a lower spending player. I mean, I know people, like myself personally, I've been playing one of my free-to-play accounts for almost 6 months. I still haven't had an Apothecary drop. I know people that have gone longer than that who haven't had an Apothecary drop. So being able to get that guaranteed champion who has so much value to add to your teams and your progression. Just with that one ability, she's going to enable so much from some of your other teammates. You can see here, even our little common Yeoman here is getting a little bit of a benefit from that there. So I'm actually leveling him up to kind of use him in a different video. That's going to be a little bit of fun there. So we're kind of getting his scrolls in the Minotaur to build up some of his attributes there. So just having a little fun with that there. And we did complete our Arbiter mission, which is pretty cool. You know, the keeps are going to be pretty. We can take her for a spin in Magic Keep. Let's come down here, 202. Wow, that's a pretty long time there. So we do have her in this team. I think I was just leveling that guy up. Let's see what else we can put in here. Let's bring in Yaga, or Yagoat, as we like to call him. And just in case anything happens, we'll bring Raglan in for that revive. Just in case Warmaiden wants to embarrass us and die on one of these dungeon runs. You can see there right off the bat again, she drops that decreased defense. We have her in there with Battle Sage, who does that attack up. That's going to make clearing through these waves much easier than it usually would be. And again, potion keeps are not that difficult. I'm just running her here to kind of show you guys how she makes this go a little bit faster. Unfortunately, I don't think I didn't bring anybody that can steal the shield here. Oh, actually, Rosin can get rid of the shield, so we should be fine on the Magic Guardian. But again, that decreased defense will always come in handy. And being an AoE, that's such a huge part of it, since it will apply to all those enemies if you have enough accuracy. We'll just kind of sit here and watch them do their work. Hopefully we can do this faster than 2 minutes. I think it's been a while since I've been in this keep, because usually I've got most of these potion keeps down below a minute. You can see there, even with the shield up, it still applies. We got a poison on there. We also did get the Crumbling Blast ability. So right now it's just a matter of whittling the shield down. Hopefully Rosin will remove this buff at some point. Otherwise we're going to be here all day. This is where I really need to build my Mountain King, because he can just nuke her right through the shield. It's pretty funny, but Rosin is not doing his job here. Just making things a lot harder. At least we're getting some poison stacked up on her, which will come off once. See, then he does remove buff when he doesn't need to. That's just wonderful, Rosin. Good job. We'll get some poison applied there, which will knock her down a little bit. Decreased defense and another weaken there is good. And you can see Warmaiden she hits pretty hard, even though, like I said, I don't have her built really to do dungeons. She's built solely for the arena to go second, but I'm still able to use her in some of these dungeon areas. See there, we did get our best time knockdown, so that's pretty good. Let's Arcane Keep. I don't know, we've already done a keep. Let's go ahead and jump into. We'll do Dragon. She can work in Ice Golem. The only problem is, I believe on Ice Golem 20, she is negative affinity to the the Spirit Ice Golem, so if you're going to run her there, bring along a Reviver, because she will hit the floor quite a bit. She'll get targeted by pretty much all of the mobs. Minotaur, that we already saw. Spider's Den, it can be done in Spider's 20. She actually is strong affinity. Oh, no, she's not, I'm sorry. Stage 20, she's negative affinity. It's really, really difficult to run her in stage 20. Unless you're going to have a lot of shielding and some healing there, because she will get targeted pretty hardcore by the spiderlings. I've used her there before. I wasn't able to get it to work this time for the video, so that's probably her weakest dungeon here, but you can definitely use her with the right statistics and with the right team. Dragon's going to be her best area, quite honestly, because you do have the strong affinity matchup here on stage 20. So let's see, do we want to stick with this team? They had a bit of trouble last time, I think. Let's just keep running her with Battle Sage. I like having her and Battle Sage together because you get the decreased defense and you get the attack up as well. This will probably be a little bit of a longer run. When you start getting into these level 20 dungeons, the biggest hurdle really is not the bosses. It's kind of these waves leading up to them. So it can take a little while to get through these guys. And where she's not built with a lot of HP, she's going to get targeted quite a bit, even though she is the strong affinity. But we'll see if we can get through these guys. Having that decreased defense up again is going to help us hit these guys harder, get through these waves a little bit quicker. And then it's nice having Rosin in there too, because you can also put down a decreased defense and a weaken. Another champion that you can get basically free to play with your fusion. So Rosin is a great champion if you're trying to get a decent champion that will make a difference on your account. I strongly encourage you to do your best to fuse Rosin. He is definitely worth it. We've got Syl the Drakes in here as well. She's another login reward champion who is one of the better champions in the game, especially for account progression. And of course we do have Cold Heart. We were fortunate enough to pull her on this account. She's not geared up super well yet. Again, I haven't really been able to hit Fire Knight to get a lot of that Savage gear yet, so I still have a ways to go on a lot of these champions on this account. But again, this is just trying to showcase to you if you're earlier player, mid-game player, just showing you the value of some of these characters. Because I think, like I said, I think a lot of rares are talked about as being the best rare in the game, and a lot of people know that Warmaiden's effective, and they definitely suggest to farm her, but they don't often talk about how good she actually is, value-wise, for how easy it is to acquire her. So, see, there's the Battle Sage 2, another one of my favorite champions. She applies that cleanse, so we get rid of all those poisons. And we're knocking the dragon down here pretty good. Nice big Heart Seeker there from Cold Heart. We do lose Warmaiden, but she gets revived almost immediately. And the cat has come to pay us a visit. But not a bad run here. It's really difficult for me to get under 2 minutes. I'm not sure where this team is. It ran 1:33, but I'd like to bring them back at some point so I could do this a little faster. But we did recently pull a Seer during the last Void event, so we're going to be working on building her. Weapon has speed. We'll go ahead and keep that. So there you go. There's kind of an idea of how she works in the dungeons. And like I said, this is a rare champion you can pull the first day you're playing the game. If you're fortunate enough, and you can see here she works perfectly well in most of these late game dungeons that you'd be going into at level 20. Okay, there's one more spot I want to go. I don't think Barbarian Faction Wars is open tonight. I've actually completed Barbarian Faction Wars, and she was part of my team. I think I've got a screenshot of that. I'll throw it up right here so you can see that team from Barbarian Faction Wars. That was mostly carried by Skytouch Shaman and Syl the Drakes, but Warmaiden was definitely a big part of that too, again applying that decreased defense AoE. Okay, I tell you what, let's go into Doom Tower, and I'm a little behind on my keys, so I actually just finished the Magma Dragon today, so I'm one key behind, so I can get up to the 89 tonight. Doom Tower is not really something I've been spending a lot of time in recently. You can see a lot of people in my clan have kind of given up on it too, but we're working our way through it. It's a giant resource sink, so I've been spending a lot of time building my unkillable clan boss team, so I haven't really been paying much attention here. Some of these waves are starting to get really difficult too. You do probably bring in some more firepower here, but let's go ahead and try this team, see if they can get through this. Again, this is just normal Doom Tower. This is nothing special. Like I said, for my level of account, this is halfway decent for where we are. I definitely should be trying to do more on the hard Doom Tower, but right now I'm just really trying to get through the normal tower, and I've got to try to figure out a way to get past floor 100, but the freaking Scarab boss, he's just driving me nuts right now, but hopefully we'll figure out a way to get through him pretty soon. But you can see here, even in Doom Tower, dropping that decreased defense is definitely going to help out with these waves. These are some of the harder floors because they've got all this poison you have to deal with here. Just really aggravating. Plus, she could block revive if she hits it right, which thankfully she did not there. But if we can get through this wave there, you see Warmaiden did go down. Again, she is not built for dungeons right now. I have her built mainly for arena, mainly to go fast. She's not really built HP or defense-wise to be doing any kind of dungeon content, but as I said, you know, we're still able to use her in spots, and that's kind of where I was saying her value comes from, is if you do have the right gear on her and get the right equipment on her, you can definitely use her very effectively in some of these dungeons. You know, you get that crit rate and crit damage on her up, you get some really good gear on her, you can do a ton of damage with her as well. So, you know, maybe we'll revisit this in the future and build that up and see how she can do. But you see there, we were able to complete a Doom Tower floor with her, getting my words mixed up. And I've got a cat in my face who wants attention too, so that's distracted me a little bit. Let's go ahead and do one more floor just to see how she does here. And again, you can see she throws out. That's what I like about her too. Her AI is really pretty smart. It's very simple. You know, she's always going to use that ability, that decreased defense, when there's more than one enemy. That's the one issue though, if you're on arena, if you're fighting like one character on the other team, she'll usually just do her single target attack, which normally is not a big deal in that case, since you should be able to beat those one character teams unless it's like some ridiculous Krisk or Valkyrie or somebody. But you know, if there's more than one character in a mob like this, she's always going to throw that decreased defense out first, which is really good because that then sets everybody else up to be able to do more damage. And that's why we also have her being able to go so quickly. You see here on this last mob, she throws it out, and within a couple attacks, we've already pretty much cleaned these guys up. So yeah, I know, Kitty, I know. Making content with a cat in the house is always fun. So there you go. But you can kind of see there, you know, she does a decent amount of damage, and just like I said, she's there for her utility. She brings a lot of value with the decreased defense. That's the main goal here. I think she's a lot more valuable than Apothecary. I know Reliquary Tender's got a lot of value too, but when you have someone like Syl of the Drakes who can revive that you're going to get for free as a login award, you really don't need to worry about some of those other champions that you might have to pull from a shard and you might never get. And that's kind of the general, you know, kind of thing I'm trying to get across here. It's just how much value she has. Being able to farm her from the campaign very early, being able to get her books very early, get her fully booked up, it's just so good. Where did she go here? She vanished. There she is. All right. So again, another look at her build, just so you can see this. And like I said, her HP, her defense, not anywhere really near what you need to be running in those in-game dungeons, those level 20 dungeons. We definitely could work on that and she'd be a lot more effective, but you can see she still definitely works in those areas. I guess we could take a look at her reviews here. I really, you know, again, I don't like rating champions that much because every champion is going to be dependent on your account and what you can do with them. You know, I will say arena offense, I go with a 4. I would always say 5 if you could use this character up in Platinum, which again, I don't have really any experience in Platinum, so take anything I say with a grain of salt with Arena, but I don't really see too many high-level Arena players using her. That doesn't mean they couldn't, but I just don't think she's that viable up there. Campaign, actually, I would go with a 5 because having that decreased defense come out first, you're going to clear those campaign waves really quick. Clan boss, I'd say probably a 4. You can use her in very early clan boss for decreased defense and for a little bit of poison when you're struggling to find characters to use, especially when you're on a free-to-play account. Force Keep, she's kind of neutral there, but the decreased defense is always going to give her some value. Arena defense, there's better options, but I mean, she'll work. I'd say probably a 3. Dragon's Lair, I give her a 5 because I use her on all my Dragon 20 teams. Spider's Den, I'd say it's probably between 3 and 4. Just because she's negative affinity there, it's kind of tough to give her that high. Fire Knight's funny she's rated so low because I actually got my fastest Fire Knight time with her, so we're going to go 4 there. That kind of just shows you people either have different champions they're using there, they just don't know the value of her decreased defense on those Fire Knight waves. Okay, Minotaur, I mean, she's pretty good there. Magic Keep, she's strong affinity, so good there. Ice Golem, I'm able to use her in that Ice Golem 20 team, but at the same time she's negative affinity, so we're not going to put her up too high there. Void Keep's kind of a wash. Like I said, the decreased defense is always going to have value, so even there it's pretty good. Faction Wars, I'll give her a 5 just because she was pretty instrumental in helping me there. Spirit Keep will go 3 since she's negative affinity, but again, you know, kind of just a general, I like to go into those reviews and look at them to kind of give you my thoughts on each area, not necessarily to put the number rating to it, because I think it's hard to assign a number rating to a champion. It always depends on the value they bring to your account, and if you're a newer player, if you're someone who doesn't spend a lot, who doesn't pull a lot of shards, who doesn't have some of those other rares people talk about all the time, I just think she brings so much value to your account and so much value to all of your teams, whether it's Arena, it's Dungeons, it's Doom Tower, Faction Wars, wherever you're going to use her. I think she's going to give you just a lot of ability to do better in the game. So that's pretty much why I think she is the best rare in Raid Shadow Legends. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you have any counterpoints to that, or if you enjoy using Warmaiden as well, let me know who some of your favorite rare champions are, and in general how you like the video. Always love to see your guys' comments and do my best to answer any of them down below. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. As always, I hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you again next time.